We want our athletes to amaze us, our entertainers to amuse us. But one guy who can do both doesn't happen very often. Novak Djokovic kicked off the new tennis season in January by winning an epic final in the Australian Open against Rafael Nadal. It took Djokovic 5 hours and 53 minutes to do it. Last year, he won 3 Grand Slam tournaments. Seasons don't get much better than that. From his earliest days on this circuit, he not only wowed the crowds with his ground strokes, he had them howling over his on-court impersonations of other tennis stars. But not everyone was laughing. Some of those champions were asking, where did this clown come from? The answer? Serbia, a small Balkan country whose only claim to fame or infamy in recent decades has been the brutal role it played in the wars that broke up the former Yugoslavia. So when Novak Djokovic won the Wimbledon title last July, it was a gift to the nation. And the nation took to the streets to greet Novak Djokovic when he brought the trophy back to Belgrade. It seemed all of Serbia emerged from years of darkness to salute someone who made them proud.
It was amazing. I felt that all the city was on the streets. It was incredible.
You know why you felt that? Because all the city was on the streets. There were multitudes on the bridges. On the ground, there was brandy.
This is the city!
The central square of the city was teeming with joy. 100,000 people.
Novak Djokovic!
Novak was hailed as the most glorious Serbian hero since a very long time.
It was like a paradise. It was like a dream, you know. Your people are waiting for you in the square. You realize your 2 biggest goals in your life, your dreams to win Wimbledon, to become #1 in a couple of days' time. I mean, I could not ask for more.
Novak couldn't have asked for more from his 2011 season. He captured the U.S. Open last September to accompany titles at Wimbledon and the Australian Open. To begin the year, he won his first 41 matches, one of the best starts ever recorded.
It was incredible. It was historical. It will be in history books, but I remember it as the best 6 months that I ever had.
He rocked the sport's royalty, Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer, and unlike them, he seemed to be having fun. That a player from a small, war-torn country with little tennis tradition could become the game's superstar? Who could have seen it coming?
In my case, I can sincerely say that nothing is impossible. I started at the times when there were really critical times for our country, and when I was saying I want to become #1 of the world, and I was 7, 8 years old, most of the people were laughing to me, because it seemed like I have 1% of chances to do that. And I've done it.
Novak's dreams began on a mountaintop. It was here at this modest ski resort that a tennis court was built one summer across from the pizzeria his family ran. Jelena Gencic was running a tennis camp there, spotted this kid watching from the fence. She handed him a racket, and within a few days, she knew. Did you think he could be a champion?
Yes.
Right away?
Right. And I told to parents, your child is a golden child.
A golden child?
He will be the best in the world.
And he was 6.5 then?
5.5. They couldn't believe, they were in shock.
Young Novak became a phenomenon, so much so that at age 7 he was invited on Serbian national TV. He said his goal was to be #1 in the world. He was dead serious. On visits to his coach's house, Novak admired the national trophy she had won as a player, but his visions had already gone far beyond her trophies, all the way to Wimbledon.
I was dreaming about Wimbledon, I was visualizing Wimbledon, and as a kid I remember I took a little improvised trophy that I think I made from the little piece of plastic, and I kind of lift that trophy and I said in English, "Hello, my name is Novak Djokovic and I'm a Wimbledon winner."
Jelena spent hours and hours working with Novak on the court. But she wanted her prodigy to have more than a forehand and a backhand. You also played classical music for him?
Of course.
And read him poems by
course.
Pushkin?
Of course.
Was this going to help his tennis, or just make him a better human being?
A better human being.
I had to know at least 2 languages. I had to listen to the classical music because it calms me down.
Did you enjoy it then?
I did, and I still do.
The tennis court served as a haven for Novak because the country he'd been born into, Yugoslavia, was coming apart quickly and violently. Did you realize that when you started climbing the tennis ladder, that your country was falling down?
Yes, that was the period that nobody likes to remember.
Yugoslavia split into separate countries. The world blamed Serbia for the bloodshed. The country's leaders were accused of war crimes. In 1999, as the conflict spread to the province of Kosovo, the Americans and other NATO countries bombed Serbia for 78 days and nights. The Djokovic family took shelter in Belgrade.
We were very scared, everybody was very afraid because the whole city was under attack.
They sought refuge here in his grandfather's apartment. Novak took us there. Novak, his grandfather, parents, 2 younger brothers, aunts, and uncles all lived in this 2-bedroom flat during the Blitz. The building had a basement. When the air raid sirens sounded, they retreated there, which was as close as they could get to safety.
This is where practically we stayed, right here, right inside.
Wow. How many of you?
Many. Everybody who could fit here, they came, and there was no really limitation.
Novak says the family spent every night in the basement for the first 2 weeks of the bombing. But you continued playing tennis?
I continued playing tennis every single day.
And did you lose your focus at all?
At the first couple of weeks, I did. I did, yes, I have to say, because we were waking up every single night, more or less at 2, 3 a.m. for 2.5 months.
Because of the bombing?
Every single night, yes. But, I always try to remember those days in a positive, in a very bright way. Let's say we didn't need to go to school, and we played more tennis.
So in a way,
yes,
the war helped you become a champion.
In a way.
It made you tougher.
Yeah, it made us tougher. It made us more hungry for the success.
There are still some scarred buildings in Belgrade, but for today's Serbs, they could be ancient ruins. They want to reinvent themselves as trendy, friendly Europeans. And this is the nation's new face. Wherever you go in Belgrade, you can't avoid him, which is exactly the way Serbs want it to be. The president of Serbia has said that you are the best public relations the country has ever had.
There's a lot of responsibility.
Do you feel that pressure?
I feel the pressure.
I don't think that Federer feels that he is carrying the prestige of Switzerland on his shoulders, but Serbia is counting on you. You're carrying Serbia on your shoulders.
But it's because we have a harder way to succeed in life, Serbs, because of the past that we had and because of the history that we had. We have to dig deeper and we have to do much more in order to be seen and to be spotted.
Novak made sure he was spotted at the 2007 U.S. Open. After his quarterfinal victory, he impersonated some of tennis's top stars in front of 20,000 people. A comedian's dream. His impersonation of tennis ace and beauty queen Maria Sharapova was a hit. New Yorkers ate it up. How did Sharapova react after you impersonated her?
She was laughing.
But he really brought the house down with his imitation of Spanish star Rafael Nadal's pre-match gyrations. And a habit he has with his shorts. Did Nadal think it was funny?
At the start, not so much.
But after a while, people became more fascinated by Novak's antics than by his tennis.
I mean, I'm serving 4-all, 30-all important match, and the guy goes, "Hey, Novak, do the impersonation of Sharapova. We like that." this is too boring. Make me laugh. It's just, I haven't done it lately.
Why not?
I don't want to get anybody offended. That's in the
You
end.
don't want to get anybody offended.
No, I don't.
Hang on.
know.
You're impersonating Nadal, taking his tennis shorts out of his butt, and you don't think that's going to offend him.
I didn't want to get him offended twice.
I see. Novak is having a love affair with the camera and will do anything for it. Like standing on the wing of a plane as it takes off. Yes, that is Novak wing walking in a commercial for Head, his racket maker and sponsor. Why did you do that?
My mother asked me the same thing.
I bet she did.
It was crazy. It's one of the craziest things I've done in my life, for sure.
We followed Novak to Bulgaria, where Hollywood was waiting.
No mistakes, I need to focus. Step forward.
A small but killer role in this summer's The Expendables 2.
Action!
His ground strokes were literally lethal now against terrorists.
When you finish the career of tennis, in one stage,
I know where to come.
The offers have poured in since Novak became #1. To get there, he had to vanquish two legends, Nadal and Federer. For 4 years, he just couldn't beat the guys who had dominated the sport.
There was no self-belief on the court.
Lost your
when I
confidence.
played against them.
What was it?
I get afraid from winning. I just
Get
I don't-
afraid from winning?
Yeah. Let's put it in a simple way. I had too much respect for them.
That stopped last year. He beat Nadal and Federer 10 out of 11 times. All season, everything clicked. His first serve was not easy to return. His returns were even more remarkable. He got to balls no one thought possible, sliding on hard courts and contorting his body like a yoga master.
There's a new champion.
When he beat Nadal for the Wimbledon Championship, he had achieved what so few humans ever achieve. He had fulfilled his childhood fantasy. Did you think about that child when you won Wimbledon?
I did. When I finished the match, when I ate the piece of grass, I had a flashback of my whole childhood, what I've been through, memories, first tennis courts that I grew up on, days spent in Belgrade. It was beautiful.
A couple of months ago, Novak revisited one of those memories to meet someone he hadn't seen in years.
This is
His first coach, Jelena Gencic.
We dreamed so long time.
He was with the woman who'd first seen who he was, and he wanted to share something with her, that Wimbledon trophy.
This was the trophy.
Our dream.
The trophy which we were standing in front of the mirror and we're lifting up the improvised trophies and dreaming of holding this one day.
And always,
Where-
please come in.
I always wanted to do this. Her trophies,
And your
and
trophy.
but not any trophy. And the one is here.